can get the job done faster than I can. Nobody. We've got Decepticons at the gates, Decepticons in the air, Decepticons inside the walls, Decepticons. If we beat them with the walls and they're still in the air, if we shoot them out of the air, then they're still at the gates. So where does that leave us? Nowhere, that's where. Nice Dino, good Dino, sweet Dino. Just step into the nice spaceship for Blur. Pretty please. Nice Dino, good Dino, with sugar and top and a cherry and some whip. I'm trying to get them into the shuttle, Ultra Magnus, because I know we can't launch the shuttle until I get them into the shuttle, but I can't seem to get them into the shuttle because they're impossible.
What's up YouTube, TF Review 16 here, back with another Transformers video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the new Deluxe class Hyperfire and Blur, the new Titan Masters Deluxe class figures here from Wave 1. Here we have Blur inside the package. You can see nice artwork here of his Titan Master head blasting off. On the side you have Titans Return, the same piece of artwork there. Come around to the back of the packaging, you get a nice little bio here of Blur. You can pause it there and read that. And you can see his Titan Master Hyperfire right here. Changes in 16 steps. I like that they're adding the more complex transformations back. You can see that Hyperfire will fit in the cockpit in vehicle mode. Here you have some more of the Wave 1 figures. You can see their heads are compatible with the other Transformers in this line. So I'm very excited to get this guy out of package and take a look at him. Here is Blur outside of the package in his Cybertronian racer mode, and he is piloted right now by Hyperfire. So you can see his little Titan Master dude is in there piloting in the cockpit. Very cool. He does have wheels underneath, so he rolls really good. He's got the thrusters in the back here. Blur is the fastest. Some say he can outrun Laserfire. That's really cool. And speaking of Laserfire, here is his little blaster. Nice silver paint deco on this. It's molded in the same color blue plastic with some silver paint on there. Really cool. So he comes with that, and also you can flip up the cockpit there, and there's Hyperfire inside. So you can see how he tabs in. There's a little slot here for him to sit in the cockpit. And here is the Titan Master Hyperfire. Surprisingly really good paint deco. I love the silver on his arms. Really adds a lot of depth to this. He does have some ball joint action here going on the arms, so you can get him in some poses. And his head there is on a ball joint, so you get some pivot and movement there with his head. And that is for the neck articulation, his head articulation in robot mode as well. Got some black paint there on his legs. Of course, you got the face on the back. And I'll do some size comparisons with him as well, but I want to set him aside for a second and go over some more of the details of the Cybertronian racer mode. So here it is. Cockpit goes up. The cockpit doesn't extend all the way back, which is kind of strange. You get a nice seat in there and some molded in details. Really cool Cybertronian lines in there. Very nice. I do like that. He's got the Autobot symbol there. This also adds another level of playability because you can take your Titan Master and plug him into the seat there. Won't get his arms up, would help. Plug him into the seat there, and then you can tab. This is great because it has pegs for him to hold it as a weapon, and then it has an extra peg hole right there where you can plug it in here, and now he's got his little cannon pod. Now this interacts with the Fortress Maximus as well as the Leader Class Blaster and the Optimus Prime one. But you can also tab it in to the side of the vehicle mode as well. He can do the sidecar action. That tabs in there pretty secure and tight. And then he can also tag along this way. But this is more for the other city modes for the other figures as well. But there you go, you can pilot him. So that is also a very cool feature. Peg these back in like so. Now he's all back together. With this one, it's great because it's an actual seat. So you put him in the seating position, and then this peg right here on the back of his legs actually pegs in to the bottom of the seat here. So when you put him in there, if you can see it on the bottom here where his feet go in, you can line it up and get him to sit in there very securely. And that will actually peg into the side underneath there. And back piloting Blur. So there they are, and I'll do some size comparisons here. Here is Blur with the Takara Voyager class version of Brainstorm. Here he is with his wave mate Scourge, and these two look really cool together. So make sure you check out my video review of Scourge as well. Here he is with Combiner Wars Voyager class Cyclonus. Here he is with Voyager class Springer. And last but not least, here he is with Deluxe class RC. So you can see these are similar in scale here. So here's your minifigure size comparison. We have Alpha Trion, who pilots the Ultra Magnus armor for Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus figure, and he comes with the Takara version only. Then you have Fracas, who comes with Scourge. Here's Hyperfire. Then you have the Brain of Courage from Masterpiece Star Saber. And here is our human figure that comes with Trax, and I forget his name. Is it Raul? I think it's Raul. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Leave it in the comment section below. But here's your human, which actually is in really good scale with this as well. And the Brain of Courage here could actually pilot, oh, and down they go. He could actually pilot this as well. So you can put him, actually he fits in the cockpit there, and he's a little small for it, but he can pilot Blur as well if you wanted to play with it that way. Another really cool feature about these new Titan Master figures, let me get these guys out of the way here. Here's Fracas and Hyperfire. They have peg holes on the bottom of the feet so they can interact with these, and he's got little pegs right here on the side, so you can actually peg him in right there to have him posed sitting on top. You can have a couple of them on there so they can ride. Very cool. A lot of fun factor in these new Titan Master figures. I love the fact that you have the Headmaster or Titan Master. The robots can pilot the larger figures. Very, very cool. A lot of fun. Just wanted to show that off real quick. And let's get into the transformation. So I removed his blaster and I removed Hyperfire here. So basically just fold his arms down, flip this around, and then pull this little top section up there, and there is Blur or Hyperfire in his head mode. For Blur's head, again, they connect right here at the neck, so you get the ball joint movement there. But really nice head sculpt there, really nice paint details. I love this classic G1 style head for Blur. So for the rest of the transformation, what you want to do is unpeg the arms here, and they come out and swing out on a hinge joint forward. So unpeg this, swing that out, get a focus in there. Untab the front here, and you can fold this down now. Again, that becomes his chest in robot mode. So even though it tends to flip down a little bit in vehicle mode, it's kind of annoying, but it's there for a reason. So then, again, you want to slide this piece out. One other thing I forgot to mention in his pod mode, in his gun pod mode, he has a little kickstand here that folds out so it sits flat as well. So that's really cool. Just want to make sure I cover all bases here. And yeah, so this folds all the way around to the back. And then these will fold up again. And I love the arm transformation. It's reminiscent of the original G1, how these things cover his hands. So you fold those around, and he does have wrist swivel. That is great. So fold that around to the back, and there you have his arms done. Now for the legs, you unpack. Oh, one thing I forgot to do too, which is very important, you want to make sure you flip the seat up and then bring this back down for robot mode. So that becomes kind of his abdomen section, nice molded in detail there. Now for the legs, what you want to do is open up these sections here, rotate it down like so, and then you can fold this section back in underneath and then this will collapse and tab in right there. Then you can fold his foot down. There you got one leg done. Same thing on the other side. What you want to do is untab this like so. Bring the leg all the way out and around. And that thing folds in only on one side. So then this just folds in and bring his foot down. There you have his legs done. Now you can take his Titan Master, and there's a tab right there that fits in here, and just pop that on there like so, and make sure this little thing is folded up, his classic Blurr head ornament. And there you have Blurr in his robot mode. And I love the way that this looks. Again, you can take the pod here and that plugs in onto his back, which is the only real kibble this figure has. I really like the design. So that's really the only kibble, and again, you can take it off, and then you can have your other Titan Masters pilot the little gun pod there. And here is his blaster. He holds that well in either hand. And again, this also comes off and can form a shield. So you got a peg hole right here. You can plug this in really however you want. You could have a shield like that. Looks very cool. You can have it on the other way as well. Although it looks better, I think, forward or backwards. But yeah, he's got a shield or whatever you want to, use it for. It's a lot of imagination and fun factor in these figures. So that looks really cool. Definitely like how this robot mode came out. Really nice paint deco here. It's mostly all the blue colors in the molded plastic. You do have some paint on the cockpit area here, or the chest area. And again, I really like the red and the light blue details, the accents right here, and the arrows. Very cool. Make sure those are folded all the way back. Here's a look at the back of the figure. Again, not much paint showing through here in robot mode, but I do really like the color of the plastic. The plastic feels really good too, really good quality, and I do like this. So let's do some size comparison, and then we'll talk about articulation. So for a size comparison, here he is next to his Deluxe Wave Mate Scourge. So you can see they're basically about the same height, Scourge being a little bit taller. And you can see that Blurr is about 5.5 inches tall. A little under 5.5 inches tall. Here he is next to RC. So you can see RC is definitely shorter, but they look really good together. Both G1 characters that we know and love. Here they are together. Here he is next to Voyager class Triple Changer Springer. So both from the Transformers 1986 movie characters, and here they are with updated toy figures. Here is next to Voyager class Combiner Wars Cyclonus. You can see the scale difference here between the Voyager size and the Deluxe size. And here he is next to Voyager class Headmaster Brainstorm. This is the Takara version, but there you can see, again, big scale difference here between the Voyager class and the Deluxe class. But there they are next to each other. Alright, articulation for Blurr is very good. And as you can see, another great thing about these Deluxe class figures is they come with peg holes for stands. So if you have the Masterpiece stand for tracks, you can get them in some dynamic poses on the stand, which is very, very cool. They do also sell these separately in case you don't have the Masterpiece tracks. You can get clear stands like this for displaying your Transformers. Let's get him off the stand and get into his articulation. So you can see in the back here, he's got a little peg hole right there for the stand, which is awesome. Very smart that they included that. I do very much appreciate that. So again, his Titan Master head is on a ball joint, so he does have good range of movement there, even some tilt back and forth, up and down, left, right. And this is pretty solid and very tight. I mean, it doesn't even shake. The Scourge figure, his head wobbles a little bit. It's really kind of loose, but this figure stays on there. He's got full shoulder articulation up and down. He's got a bicep swivel. He's got about 90 degrees at the elbow, and he has, I'm gonna take this off real quick, he has wrist swivel. So that is really great. He also has waist swivel. He's got great movement, ball jointed hip there, goes all the way out, so you can get him in some high kick poses on that stand there. He's got the upper thigh rotation. He's got knee bend that is greater than 90 degrees without it being double jointed. And then he's just got the toe articulation up and down, which this is part of the transformation, so I wouldn't really count that as articulation. But again, same thing on that side. So highly posable figure with good articulation. And this guy is a lot of fun to play with. One thing I also forgot to mention here is he does come with a updated collecting card. So you have the image, the artwork image from the packaging, the Titan Master head blasting off the body. It says Titans Return Hasbro, and they finally heard and listened to our comments, and now we have tech specs on the back here. Now he should be all the way up for speed. I mean, he's up there, 14 for speed, but they say he's the fastest, faster than lasers. I just realized I gotta pop his head thing up right there. Nice. Yeah, so that's very, very cool that they've included these tech specs in the card. Nice thick card, so if you're collecting those, this is fun to add to your booklet. And my final thoughts for Blurr is this is a highly recommended figure. I give it 2 thumbs up. You're taking an old G1 character and reinvigorating him with the new Titan Master approach, and it adds a whole lot of fun and playability to this figure. I love the 3-dimensional. You have the Headmaster or Titan Master that interacts with the vehicle mode, forms his head, also has gun pods for city mode, so there's a whole level of multi-dimensional playability here with this figure, and I do highly recommend it. So this has been a TF Review 16 video review. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you click like if you like this video review, share it with your friends. I can always use the support. You can also follow me on Twitter at TFReview16 for recent toy purchases. You can see what I'm doing in the meantime in between reviews. I like to post a lot of photos, action figure collection stuff. So make sure you check that out when you can. And until next time, keep collecting.